not gonna lie to you, I thought there was gonna be a lot more than this. I mean, now that I see it all together, it's not that bad. Yeah, pretty impressed with myself, actually.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like. Hey, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like.
All right, hey there, fashion friends. Welcome to today's episode. I'm very happy that you've joined me here today. So, for today's episode, I am sharing all of my boots and why I own each of these particular boots. Yeah, I think boots to me are just absolutely necessary for good fashion, for good style. I think it's just an easy way to top off a look, to elevate a look, and it's just functional as well as that. So it just kind of hits all the marks for me. But saying that, I am very particular about my boots. They've got to have something special for me because I want to know that I'm just going to throw them on, and whatever I throw it on with, it's going to add that little bit of edge, add that little bit of interest, that little bit of extra style to my look. Because a lot of times I'm literally wearing pretty basic outfits, and I'm kind of banking on the fact that my boots or my shoes are going to help elevate the look. So I put a lot of thought into my footwear. So okay, let's get to it, because I know why we're here. You don't want to just see me, you want to see some boots. I get it. So, all right. So I actually only have 7 pairs of boots. Can you believe it? Yeah, I was shocked actually. I thought I had more boots than that. And again, no shock here. They're all black, all but one. And that one is a very dark chocolate brown. So, you know, I know what I like. So I guess the first boot we'll look at is the longest running boot. So here we go. The first pair comes from Angela Scott. These are the Mr. Dean boot. If you're not aware of Angela Scott, it is a brand that I absolutely love and adore, and I'm super obsessed with. However, since going sort of leather free, I'm trying not to buy new leather. Yeah, I can't really get anything else from Angela Scott, so I'm hoping someday they will come out with vegan leather options. But yes, I still have held on to a lot of my favorite leather pieces that I've had before going non-leather. I actually discovered them a few years back because I did a review video for them, and I did a few other unboxing videos for them. So this was one of my gifted pairs, and I requested these because I basically fell in love with them for a plethora of reasons. One being that it's in a black ankle boot. I mean, you cannot go wrong with a black ankle boot. Along with that, it's a double monk strap. Love me a double monk strap, just classic. And then on top of that, having these kind of metallic toe caps. And normally, again, I'm not like a glitzy, metallic-y type person, but what I kind of loved about that is it kind of looks like a steel-toed boot, like a kind of exterior steel-toed boot, and I kind of liked that little bit of unexpected detail or that little bit of edge. So this to me kind of combines my two favorite things, which is classic and edgy. So yeah, I just add these to a look and it just completely elevates them. And I don't think there's a boot that I've gotten more compliments on when I'm wearing them than these boots here. Okay, oh, all right, which one's my next? Oh yeah, this one. So this is my other leather boots that I've still held on to. It's my Vagabond Tara boot. It's like a platform Chelsea boot. I got these quite a while ago. The reason why I held on to these is because it combines my two favorite things. Classic, sophisticated with edgy. So just kind of having that classic silhouette of the Chelsea boot, but then having a little bit of edginess, a little bit of that youthfulness with the platform. These definitely have like a masculine vibe to them. So I think that's one of the things I like about them, because I like to add them to more feminine, sophisticated looks. And I feel like it then kind of counteracts that. Along with that, I like that it's like adds a little bit of height to my looks without being uncomfortable. Yeah. You know, say this is one of my go-to boots for sure. And I think this is the last leather boot that I've purchased. I also fell in love with these because they're a little bit past the ankle. They're just like a tiny bit past the ankle. They're not right at the ankle. So it's like just a different height of a boot that I don't really have. And it's pretty tight in the ankle, which I like. So there's not a whole lot of ankle gap, which I'm not a big fan of. So it's pretty like slimming to the ankle, you know? I like my ankles to look slim. But yeah, it's just a great silhouette to add to really anything from skinnies all the way to wide leg boyfriend jeans. So again, just an easy go-to. Okay, all right, I lied. I forgot, these ones are leather. But these ones I bought, so this was the last pair of leather that I bought. However, these were secondhand leather. So just because it is so darn hard to find good boots that are non-leather, like good, stylish, edgy boots that aren't non-leather. So, and I do think, you know, obviously giving things a second life is a good kind of sustainable approach. So these I got secondhand on eBay, and these are a Jeffrey Campbell boot. They don't make these anymore, so you cannot get these, but there are certain variations of it. Especially through Jeffrey Campbell. Yes, it's another Chelsea boot. You will find I love me a Chelsea boot. But what I loved about this one, again, is it's combining, I'm gonna say it, my two favorite things, classic sophisticated with edge. And so it's kind of got this, you know, sort of retro Chelsea vibe with a little heel, sort of like that Beatles-esque, but then just tipping it off, you know, pun intended, with this little toe cap that sort of just adds a little sort of Western vibe to it. So I just love these. Like, it's just that understated edge that, you know, really tickles my fancy. And this is what happens when I go off script, when I go unscripted. You get this just randomness. I didn't really have this texture at the time. I didn't have this sort of sheen sort of boot. So I liked that it was bringing in a different sort of texture to play with my outfits. So I add these just to like my basic looks. And again, it gives like a really effortless feel because, you know, my outfit will be super plain and then it lets this guy be the showpiece. So I do apologize to taunt these beauties in front of you. I'll see if I can find an alternative link for you guys down below to get as close to these boots as possible. So my Ganni First City Chelsea boot, these are made out of recycled rubber, which is fantastic. So these ones have the faux shearling on the inside, which is what sealed the deal for me. They have this version, this Chelsea boot, on their website currently without the Sherpa, without the faux Sherpa. Don't think they made these this year, which is a bummer. But yeah, they have the version without. So anyways, why did I choose these? Well, it was my first winter back here in Minnesota last year, and I just really wanted a pair of winter boots that were super functional for the Minnesota winter, you know, being nice and cozy and cozy. Cozy on my feet, and then having this lugged sole, which is very like on trend, but as well as that, it's super functional for the Minnesota winters. So this just kind of hit all the marks for that reason, just being like edgy as well as functional. I love it because it does have that kind of masculine, edgy vibe to it. So again, it's just like a easy thing that can pretty much go with most things in my closet. It just kind of adds like a steeze to a lot of my outfits. And I'd say during the wintertime, this is probably the boot I wear the most. This is my, yeah, definitely my go-to. So yeah, very well made as well. So I know that these babies are gonna last me a long time. Along with that, they're super comfortable. Super comfortable. So yeah, I like them. Got another pair of Jeffrey Campbell here. The reason why I go for Jeffrey Campbell boots a lot is they have that kind of elevated style, that elevated design, and as well as that, it's a, you know, a really accessible price. It's not like a over the top price. You know, I got a family of 3 boys. I can't afford to spend, you know, $1,000 on boots at this point in my life. So yeah, I really like the, you know, accessible price point for the sort of high-end, you know, elevated style that you get with Jeffrey Campbell. These are Jeffrey Campbell Tacked boots. I got these from Nordstrom last year, I believe. Again, kind of similar to the Ganni boots. I wanted another pair of boots that was going to be functional in the winter and fall and spring, but was going to be a little bit more feminine than the Ganni boot. But again, super comfortable, super functional. They've got, you know, the grips on the bottom, so I'm not going to go flying in the air with the ice. So it's just a great shoe, great practical shoe for the winter time. But as well as that, it's pretty breathable, so I can wear this in the springtime as well. And I've even worn it in the summertime. Yeah, so a great all year round boot. I do think this is still available. I don't know if it's available in the faux patent leather anymore, but I will link it down below, or I'll link one similar down below. Okay. Next is another Jeffrey Campbell. These are the Jeffrey Campbell tall Western boot, and I don't think they make these anymore. That is the thing with Jeffrey Campbell. You kind of got to be on top of it with Jeffrey Campbell shoes, because they don't stick around long. They do like a limited run of things and then they keep it moving. So I don't really think I've ever known Jeffrey Campbell to have, you know, brought things back. They'll bring variations back, like of different color maybe, or like a little different style. But normally I don't really think I've ever seen them bring the exact same boot or shoe back each season. So you gotta be on top of it. But I will try my best to find an alternative link down below. I'm basically obsessed with these. These are super sexy and feminine, which isn't normally my vibe, but I just fell in love with these. One, because I love the color, because I was like, okay girl, you need to venture out from the black. And you know, chocolate brown is not too far removed, but still, you know, a good little option. Along with that, I just love the kind of Western style without being too Westerny. So yeah, and then the heels, just not over the top, but gives you a little bit of height, gives you a little bit of, you know, femininity in that. And then I just love the little point. There's just like a little, you know, sort of clip at the point, so it's not like super pointy. But I got these, if I'm being completely honest, I got these like strictly for styling purposes for the channel, because I was like really inspired by over the knee boots, because I'd been seeing them everywhere, and I like thought, well, I want to style them. So that was why I got them. But now I've really fallen in love with them. I'd say I don't really wear them that often in like the real world. I definitely will wear them on like a date night. It's been a minute. And maybe when I re-emerge into kind of like the fashion world again, I'd like to start going to some trade shows and fashion shows in the future. I'll be rocking this type of stuff because I just love it. I love the fierceness of it. But for my everyday life, not the most practical at the moment, but. All right. Last, but definitely not least, we have the Ganni country boot. Yes, and yeah, if you've been around, you know that I just got these babies this winter. Yeah, I did a whole video on my decision-making process for these boots, and I have to say this was probably one of my favorite purchases this year, or I guess last year. In 2022, this was definitely my favorite purchase because I didn't have a boot. Clearly you can see I'm an ankle boot gal. I didn't have a knee-high boot, so I wanted one just for the fact of just, you know, for, if I'm being honest, you know, for styling purposes, I really kind of like the idea of having a knee-high boot, you know, just as an option for styling, so I wasn't always having the same sort of ankle boot vibe. So that was really one of the reasons, but I could never really find a knee-high boot that got me excited. They're all a little bit too feminine or a little too conservative for me. So I saw these when I got the Ganni for City that I showed you, and was just like, oh, I love them. But of course I went for my go-to of an ankle boot first. So this, you know, so that was in 2021. So for 2022, I allowed for myself to have this be my kind of one purchase for the winter season. And I'm really happy that I did, just because it's been super fun to style it. And along with that, it's been so great for the Minnesota winters. It's just awesome. And I just throw it on with anything. Like I can just be wearing any sort of thing and these just work. And they really add a lot of style to the look. They're just really, you know, they've got a lot of grit to them. Yeah. Okay. That is it for my boots. If I had any sort of item to add to the wish list, it'd be maybe another option for a heel, for a heeled boot that's comfortable and functional, but just adds that kind of elevation, literally and stylistically. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with my boot collection. So I think what you can basically gather from my boot collection is that I really go for boots that have that style contrast of being classic with a bit of edge, with some sort of edge, whether that be like a masculine edge, a feminine edge, just a detail of edge, but something that just makes it a little bit more special and not super conventional. And I love a timeless boot, I love a classic boot, but I never want it to be so timeless or classic that it becomes conventional. And if that is your style, no problem, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I like to have that little bit of edge, that little bit of contrast, so that I can guarantee that whatever I'm wearing, my shoes are going to kind of add to the outfit. Along with that, I think the common thread is you can see that most of my boots are ankle boots. That is just because that is the, you know, silhouette that I like, that goes with most of my clothes. So again, it's a silhouette that I know is gonna work with pretty much everything that I own. So it kind of doesn't fail. I'd say the knee-high boot and the over-the-knee boot are great choices and are pretty diverse, and I can wear them with quite a bit, but I am a little bit more limited with that silhouette than I am with the ankle boot. But yeah, so that is my boot collection. Definitely comment below and let me know if there was a favorite boot of mine. Well, you know what to do if you did like today's episode. Give me that thumbs up, comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe for future weekly episodes, and click the little bell to get notified when I post those new episodes. If you really, 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 really loved today's episode, give me a super thanks down below. It's that little heart with the money sign in it. So my beautiful fashion friends, you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay safe, love and support each other, and we will definitely be chatting soon. Bye.